Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 hardest bosses in Nintendo 64 games.
Nice birdie! Yeah, alright.
For this list, we'll be looking at the toughest boss fights from the Nintendo 64 era. If there's an N64 boss that gave you trouble, whose absence from our list troubles you, let us know in the comments below. Now, who's ready to get flustered? Number 10, Andros, Star Fox 64.
Now you will feel true.
Depending on which route you take in the game, this floating giant ape head can either be a pushover or incredibly difficult. The harder route sees you face Andros after an already difficult mini-boss fight with Starwolf, or whoever remains from Starwolf, and you're given very little chance to recover unless you know which tunnels you need to head into. Then, after blasting the big giant head to smithereens, you're faced with his brain. Ew. In this form, Andros can teleport around the arena, extend his eyes to knock into you, and woe to anybody who gets close enough to it, since he'll tear your wings off with his disgusting tentacles. You can't even relax after defeating him, since you'll need to escape his base before it blows up. Seriously, can't this guy take an L?
This way, Fox.
Number 9, the Wasps, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Conker the Squirrel encounters several colorful villains during his escapades, but one of the most persistent thorns, or stingers in this case, in his side are a group of wasps. After stealing a bee's hive yet again, Conker has to go and get it back from them, and to do so, he needs to use the hive's machine guns. Yes, really. To fight off wave after wave of buzzing wasps. Their flight patterns can become erratic, and there's no way to replenish your health during the fight. While practice can take the sting out of this boss's difficulty, it's still tough enough that it'll leave your head and or eyes spinning. Seriously, this was a total pain in the butt for me as well. Number 8, Ganon, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Ganondorf is the king of evil and the main antagonist of the Legend of Zelda series. His first human form is fairly challenging, since you have to reflect his magic back at him and deal with gradually disappearing platforms. It's like this weird volleyball kind of minigame if you think about it. But once the castle collapses, he emerges, transforming into Ganon. This monstrous form knocks away the Master Sword, forcing you to rely on other weapons to injure him. Figuring out which ones can be tricky without help, and even then you need to maneuver around the terrifying beast. Of course, if you got the Bigoron sword, it's a cinch. Not everyone does that side quest though. Number 7, Carnage, SpiderMan.
Bet you weren't expecting that! Yeah!
Everyone's friendly neighborhood wall crawler faces a bevy of foes in this game, but Carnage is the most challenging. The fusion of a serial killer and a killer alien symbiote, Carnage is terrifying enough in concept already, but his boss fight is pretty dang scary too. Carnage is borderline immune to damage and hits like a truck. The only reliable way to defeat him quickly is to knock him into a sonic bubble in the room's center. Of course, it can hurt you too, which can make it hard to stay safe when you also have to avoid whatever Carnage is dishing out. Number 6, King Krusha K. Rool, Donkey Kong 64. King K. Rool is notable for having challenging boss fights and an enlarged eyeball, and his bout against the Kong family in their first 3D outing is no exception. You must step into the ring against the cunning Kremling King and battle him with all 5 of the Kong characters you control. That in itself would be pretty difficult, but add in the fact that you have a time limit to complete each round, and dying in any round or retrying too many times means starting all over, then you have a boss fight we dread. Still, that does make his final defeat oh so satisfying. Number 5. Dark Link, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Yes, we know we're going 2 for 2 here, but Zelda protagonist Link is sometimes his own worst enemy. Literally, like, he can be worse than Ganon. Dark Link is a shadowy version of the hero who appears mysteriously in the Water Temple, adding to its already formidable reputation. While technically a mini-boss, Dark Link is still as hard as any big boss. The Dark Doppelganger will mimic most of your sword moves, which makes it difficult to strike him, and he has just as much health as you do. He'll also disappear into the floor every time you hit him, which makes follow-up strikes impossible. The best strategy is to use weapons other than your sword, or hit him using horizontal cuts, since those hit more often. Number 4. Hag 1, Banjo-Tooie. Gruntilda the Witch is the nemesis of Banjo the Bear and Kazooie the Bird. The undead villain's final battle with the duo is one of the most unique and difficult bosses out there. She battles you in her tank, the Hag 1, and in addition to firing magic and missiles at you, she also quizzes you with various trivia questions which you need to answer within 5 seconds. Answer right, and she'll use slower attacks. Answer wrong? Whew, better run for your life. Depending on your knowledge of the game, your last match with Old Grunty can either be very difficult or extremely difficult. Even those who know the game like the back of their hands will need to stay nimble and hit her with special egg projectiles. Number 3. Mizar, Jet Force Gemini. The big alien boss of all the bugs the protagonists battle during this game, Mizar is just plain brutal. Not only does he have a ton of attacks, but you also don't get any health or ammo refills during the battle. If you run out of ammo or take too much damage, then you're not beating him. For the first phase, you can only deal damage to Mizar when his back is turned, and homing rockets will be your best friend here. So, learn his patterns, and you should be able to dodge most of his attacks. Except that electric one, which is almost impossible to dodge. Once he stops flying, you can finally end this and squash this damn bug. Number 2. Majora, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. The terrifying eldritch abomination in the form of a mask that gives this Zelda title its name. Majora is as difficult as it is spooky. It's really spooky. All 3 of its forms are a pain to deal with. Majora's Mask will fly around, which makes hitting it with arrows rather tricky. Majora's incarnation is practically a blur because it's so fast. And Majora's Wrath uses powerful whips that keep you at bay. Of course, if you've gotten every mask in the game, you can use the Fierce Deity's mask to absolutely wreck Majora with long-range sword blasts and close-up attacks. It makes it significantly easier, but it sure is satisfying. If only we had it in our first playthrough. Before we get to our final and toughest top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Primogen, Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. Limited ammo and several phases make this alien final boss really rough. William, Resident Evil 2. This mutated scientist is terrifying, hard to hit, and has multiple forms. Luigi, Mario Golf. Mario's brother cheats in every sports game, we swear.
Nice birdie! Yeah, all right.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Whiz Pig. Diddy Kong Racing. My god, this pig has given me so much trauma. This villainous porker's opening line may seem like a boast, but as anyone who has raced him will tell you, it isn't. You can't beat him, or at least we couldn't on the first try, or the 20th. The menacing magical pig is faster than his thundering footsteps suggest, and staying ahead of him is almost impossible. You must hit every single boost on the course, and in order to reach maximum speed, you'll need to hit every zipper with the special green boost. One missed zipper could mean a total loss, forcing you to restart the race again and again and again and again. At least his theme is badass, even if it does haunt our nightmares, but holy crap, the levels of frustration here are real. I cannot stress that enough. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.